And that is that we are creatures of habit. So human beings love to know what's coming. We love sameness. It makes us feel safe. So we tend to do the same things over and over again. And there's some research in psychology out of the field of automaticity that tells us that 95% of what we do each and every day is habit. Only 5% of our behaviors are conscious choices, or they're generated by an external stimuli. So that's pretty daunting. So typically when we think of making a change, we think of our prefrontal cortex. I am going to make a decision that I'm going to change, right? Unfortunately, that's not a great strategy, because that requires willpower and discipline, and we don't have very much of it, none of us. Human beings have a very limited supply of willpower and discipline. So how many of you made a New Year's resolution this year? I don't believe in them, I heard down here. Okay. Okay, why bother, right? So I saw a few hands, and I'm assuming the rest of you didn't, because why bother, right? So New Year's resolutions rely on willpower and discipline. That's why they're so hard to sustain. That's why when you go to the gym in January and your classes are packed, and you're like, oh God, I can't even get a spot. But then you realize, oh, but a couple months they're going to be empty again, right? So we need to think about change differently. And it turns out that the best strategy for change is in a different part of our brain, a very primitive part of our brain called the basal ganglia. The basal ganglia recognizes repetition. So if I do something today and I do it again tomorrow, my basal ganglia says, hey, Annie's done that twice now. I'm going to help her to remember that and help her do it again. So it's like a tire tread that gets deeper and deeper with repetition. So we want to access this part of our brain in order to make change and make it more likely that we're going to succeed.